So I hope I don't have to record this for a second or third time. Lately I've been having to record 2 or 3 times because for some reason it hasn't been catching it, although it say it has. Y'all, I'm not in the best of moods and I just decided this right now. I just thought about something at work that bothered me. And so I create and conjure all these scenarios in my head about how something gonna go, and then I get there the next day it don't go like that, but then sometimes they do. But I try to keep in mind that every day is not the same. But all of a sudden, I just got heated about people being in my shit and don't even ask me. Wait till I go out the room and get in my shit. And then when I come back in the room, then this and that and that and this. I'm so sick of people. So tomorrow I'm going to get my stuff, put in my pocket, and go about my goddamn business. People don't want you in their shit, but they sure go in your shit. Well, anyway. Y'all, I had did a short earlier this morning, and I was saying, when y'all getting y'all cars going to work, about how you have to pray or pray to be protected at work, because I've been seeing a lot of videos, right, and people been coming up dead at work. People been getting unalived at work. People been getting hurt on their jobs. I told y'all I saw this one where these guys was in there and the smoke had broke out or whatever, and they ended up dying because the people wasn't able to save them, and they was on their cell phones calling home and stuff like that. So you could trouble can find you anywhere. Like none of us, we not exempt from anything. Anything could happen on your way to and from work or anywhere. That's why I said just make sure you check in with him and make the connection, so if something was to happen, you made that initial contact, you made that phone call without even knowing you made that phone call, if some know what I mean. And this got me boggled because I had went on a TikTok this morning, right? And I don't know what made, as soon as I opened up the app, it popped up. It was this young girl. She couldn't have been no more than 18 or 23 or something at the most. She was a baby. Talking about she was decapitated on her job in Augusta, Georgia at some type of bar. I guess she was a bartender or waiter or something. How do you get decapitated at a night bar at your job? I don't understand. No more than I understand, sometimes people get ran over by forklifts on their jobs and stuff. That's why the jobs want you to report when you hit anything, or because that could have been somebody's body that you hit, or when people crossing over these forklifts and stuff, drivers, they always tell you, jobs, I've had previous jobs, they teach you to make sure you make eye contact with the driver so that way he knows you're there, We got to be careful. Switching pants in our jeans, tight jeans, and rolling our eyes and beating got smacked down in the mist. And not too long ago, I think this was like a year and a half ago, like I was at work and all these Walmart employees start coming in, and I always like to make conversation. I just saw, there's a lot of turquoise blue, aqua blue, or whatever color blue this is vest in here. I better investigate and ask what's going on. So I started asking them because they was coming in. As they was coming in, I was like, what's happening? They were saying that they had to shut down early because a fire broke out. Walmart was able to get to the fire in a nick of time, but a fire started, so they had to shut the whole store down. I've heard of people being out in the parking lot going, to an area to get their service somewhere in one of those shopping plazas, and a shootout end up happening. I've been around in the parking lot or heard stories out in the parking lot, where people just break out fighting, or somebody chasing somebody with a knife around the parking lot. Like, I've heard all these things. And then I got a co-worker, she had to go to her job one day here at this ADM plant, I believe, because they said they'd be having explosive scenery going on at the plants, where the plants be exploding. Said, damn it, they got a hidden meth lab going on in there. What's making these explosions? But when you're walking around all of that type of stuff and chemicals and all of this and all that, anything could happen. And I heard this isn't the first one. But people gotta go get money, and then you hear about people that work these jobs, they end up getting cancer, or they end up getting, stobies or something, or a mold or something from these jobs, and black lung cancer from these jobs, and working on a railroad and inhaling this. And most jobs that I've been on, they have like a safety party. And at first I used to be bitching like, they giving all this pizza. I don't want no damn pizza. I want my money. But then again, looking at these people that's getting hurt on these social media forums at their job, I'm happy that we having the pizza party. No, don't worry about that dollar. That dollar ain't everything, because the pizza represents nobody was hurt in the last 145 days. I'm telling you, you got to start understanding the value of life, because it can be gone in a split second. It can be gone in a puff of air. It don't take long to get deflated. Not anymore. I'm gonna see if I can find anything on this about this child getting decapitated at her job. This just bothers me so bad, and this might be the reason why it put me in a bad mood too about what was going on at my job or whatever. I'm worried about somebody being in my stuff, but folks is getting decapitated, and folks is getting crushed by machines. And if I ain't mistaken, like, I've worked on machinery as Sarah Lee, and her stories, and people telling me that somebody died over there on that machine over there in the corner. Something happened and it just came down and killed them and smashed them and all that. I done heard of people going up under the belts to get this and that, and their hair got caught up on this and that. I done heard about having all this loose jewelry on and it gets snagged on something, and I done heard about these type of stories from people. This all I do is talk to people. And see, my mother used to talk to me about this all the time. That's why I'm so conscious about this. She called them freak accidents. I remember one time she told me somewhere in Chicago, these people were having a party, and they was on one of them, a deck, but the building was high up. You know what I'm saying? And all of the people was out on the deck at the party in Chicago. I don't know how many feet this was, but it was 11 feet, 12 feet, 20 feet, 100 feet. I don't know. But whatever, with all of the weight on with the people on the balcony, the whole concrete block gave away and fell to the floor. See, my father always talked about like how he gonna be taking people. You gonna be seeing people die by the masses. You ain't gonna know what happened. Mudslides and all of this stuff, train wrecks and plane crashes and all of this mess. But my mother was telling me one time that I think that was either a train or a Greyhound in the wintertime ran off the track, and it jumped over the viaduct and it ran into the ocean and all of this type of stuff. My mother always talked to me about freak accidents. I've heard stories about people being in the mall on the top floor, the ones you have to take the elevator, and they leaning on the glass, and the glass broke and gave away. I know a friend, she wasn't a childhood friend, but she was a friend of mine. Her and her boyfriend was playing and by the window, and they went through the window. The people at the building hadn't updated, no windows hadn't updated, nothing. They was just there getting money. That apartment still running to this day. And I also know somebody got some type of bacteria in their arm right here. All these holes said that the apartment has something in it, and it looked like a honeycomb or a beehive or something on their arm. I done seen all kind of stuff going on, with this type of stuff. People getting hurt on their jobs. Let me see if I can find something. My. Y'all, we got to start asking for prayer. We got to start asking for coverage. Girl gets decapitated in Augusta, Georgia on her job. This is it right here. Woman's death at Evans Club car facility prompts investigation. Car facility? Evans Club. I was thinking it was a nightclub, but you still can get hurt at a nightclub. I done people that ran and got stampeded on at these concerts where these folks trying to do all this magic and they light something. People think it's a part of the play and the whole place on fire. People stampeding and people getting killed trying to get out. You hear about these celebrities, these rappers having these rap events, and the people in the crowds, they shooting at one another, or they shooting at the artists, and the artists entourage had to cover them and get them out there fast, and somebody got to take a bullet for the artist because that's their job. You didn't hear woman's. So this was a club car. I see a golf course. Let's see what's going on. This is the Augusta crime and court news. Woman's death at Evans Club car facility prompts investigation. A young Grovetown woman lost her life at the club car facility in Evans, sparking a thorough investigation by authorities. Contract worker Alyssa Drinkard, 21, became entrapped in a conveyor belt on Friday night and was pronounced dead later at Doctor Hospital. According to Steve Morris with the Columbia County Sheriff's Office, y'all, this stuff got me in the uproar. Investigator William Bonzak and team responded to Club Car on Washington Road, where they met the Club Car Environmental Health and Safety team to delve into circumstances surrounding Drinkard's death. According to initial reports, deputies were dispatched to the facility at 9:44 p.m. Friday. Drinkard reportedly attempting to retrieve her dropped AirPods found herself trapped beneath the conveyor belt. Despite efforts by maintained personnel to halt the machinery and extrication her, Drinkard could not be rescued in time. She was subsequently transported to Doctors Hospital by Gold Cross Med 1, where medical personnel pronounced her deceased at 5:50 a.m. Madge Morris could not confirm or deny social media reports that Drinkard was decapitated, but it seems unlikely since she was taken to the hospital and pronounced dead hours later. Surveillance footage obtained by the authorities revealed the sequence of events leading to Drinkard's death. It showed her crawling underneath the conveyor belt in an attempt to retrieve her lost device, only to become ensnared and ultimately unable to free herself. Co-workers were expressing their shock about the tragedy, saying Drinkard was working on second shift in the President line area that works on carts battery cells. Workers are told to be careful around their surroundings and avoid wearing jewelry and headphones, one employee said, and loose clothing. Deputy Coroner Altamont Bradford conducted preliminary examinations at the doctor's hospital and later conveyed with the investigators at the Club Car facility. Drinkard's body will undergo further examination at the Georgia Bureau Investigation GBI lab to determine the exact cause of death. Employees said they saw representatives with the Occupational Safety and Health Administrator at the facility over the weekend. A sheriff's reporter provided this narrative. I arrived at the listed location and observed Alyssa Drinkard pinned underneath the conveyor belt at her workstation. She did not appear to be breathing. EMS and fire arrived on the scene at the time and began life-saving measures. They freed Alyssa by cutting the metal frame from around the conveyor belt and pulling her out. Once they got Alyssa out, they said she still had a pulse and transported her to the doctor's hospital for further treatment. One EMS left with Alyssa. I went back inside and spoke with an employee, Fashaw Smith, who was working with her when she was injured. Smith said Alyssa dropped her AirPods below the conveyor, and when she got under the machine to get them, she got caught by the chain that moves the conveyor. And I guarantee you, it could have been going at nice speed. Smith said due to the way Alyssa was pinned, she was not able to get her out, so she called for maintenance to come and shut the machine down. They began taking it apart, and the machine was down and called 911. Car Club released this statement. Friday evening, a contract labor worker experienced a critical injury while working at our main manufacturing facility in Evans. First responders were immediately notified and we thank them for their quick response to provide medical care and transportation to the hospital, where the worker unfortunately later passed away. Our sincere condolences and thoughts are with the family, friends, and all the impacted by this loss. We are working with authorities and contracted to investigate to determine the facts about what led to the incident. Note, if you have a better photo or memory of Alyssa to share, please text it to 803-487-3224. The Augusta Press encourages and welcomes reader comments. However, we request this be done in a respectful manner, and we retain the discrimination to determine which comments violate our comment policy. We also reserve the right to hide, remove, and not allow comments to be posted. These type of comments are not allowed on our site include threats or harm or violence, profanity, obscenity, and vulgarity, including images of links to such material, racist comments, victim shaming or blaming, name calling, and or personal attacks, comments with main purpose to sell a product or promote commercial websites or services, comments that infringe on copyright, spam comments such as the same comment posted repeatedly on a profile. So rest in peace to that young lady. It's I don't think it was Alyssa, but in Augusta, Georgia. So y'all ask for protection when you're going back and forth to work, when you're getting on these highways, when you're going and coming and visiting. You ain't safe nowhere. I've told y'all before, my mother used to tell me all the time. I've read stories about it. Other people told me about people at home minding their own business and the stray bullet come through their house. Somebody initiating somebody out on the holidays just shooting, and the bullet ended up traveling and going through a wall and going through this and going through that. Kids had came up dead. Like, ain't nobody exempt from nothing. Anything can happen at any place at any time. Just make sure you make the connections when you get up in the morning. Cougar's Closet.